Hi everyone, my name is Jocelyn and I'm in Phoenix, Arizona, and I had the honor of being coached by Ken. What I do is I'm actually a retired nurse at 28 years old and now am a leader in providing people with nutrition and financial solutions that transform their lives, and I'm an independent entrepreneur. And why I have been so grateful to have Ken's coaching is really because he can hear when I'm not connected to what's important to me and I'm surviving something, or I'm trying to justify a feeling that's in the way of what I'm really committed to, and he can hear that on the dime and he'll address it, and he can really rapidly move me through that to where I can acknowledge what I'm dealing with but can very quickly move through it, which is very important when you are trying to grow something on a massive global scale. And he also has a fantastic way of really hearing what I'm not saying. You know, like I'll be saying one thing, but really there's like three layers below it, and I don't even know what's there. It's like the blind spot. And he just has a really powerful way of doing that that's unlike really anyone that I've ever worked with. And he also has me continuously remember that everything is like oatmeal. That is his way of saying that there is nothing more significant. Everything is oatmeal, as he would say. And it's one of his best coaching tips. Is really there's nothing extra significant, and that's been such a blessing in my life. Why I suggest that people work with Ken is for all the reasons that I mentioned. He just has an incredible listening, really unlike anybody I have ever met, and I've been around a lot of amazing leaders, and he's 100% committed, and he is just fantastic. So I highly recommend working with Ken. Thanks,
Well,
guys.
I'm Shanna Orlando. I own a few businesses here in the Phoenix area. I've had the pleasure of knowing Ken for the past 5 years. And around coaching, right? I've done a lot of personal and professional development in my life, and I've had Ken as my personal coach and committed listener now for the past few years. Um, and having a coach is invaluable. I don't know that I'd said that prior to doing any work on myself, but and then having the experience I've had over the last few years in getting myself out of my own way, um, and the results that I've gotten as a result of doing that, I'll speak to here in a moment. But let me first talk about Ken. Ken just has this ability to really listen to you bigger than you are, right? So bigger than you think you are. And I think we all have, some conversation about what's possible or what we're capable of, and it's either empowering or disempowering. And Ken has a way of first seeing that and then affecting that, and the effect of your opinion about yourself, your abilities, what's possible, whether you're present to that you have one or not. The effect of having one of those on yourself, especially if it's disempowering, is a big deal. And so Ken has an ability to listen and really get to the root of what's going on. Better than that, I think he has a way about him that has you get, in asking questions, in the way that he asks questions, has you get what's really going on, and get what's really important to you, and leaves you just in action, uh, taking the next steps in what's important to you. So I'll go back to what I said earlier. As a few years ago, I had a whole conversation about partners, right? So I've had 3 or 4 businesses here in the valley for 10 or 20 years, and they'd only grow so big, and I couldn't grow them any bigger than they were, and I tend to micromanage at the time, and and doing some coaching with Ken, I realized that I was there was a story about having partners that was really keeping me from having one, and in my own personal experience, I didn't have any around having partners. So it's clearly just a story and asking people what they thought, and exploring what it might be like, and I was scared to death, but after coaching with Ken, I decided that was probably the best and next step for me, and I reached out and found just the perfect partner, right? And so because of that, right, now I have additional abilities, right? I'm good at what I'm good at. My partner's good at what he's good at. And we quickly, in 24 months, doubled the revenue of one of our businesses. And and spun another business off as a result of that business that's now going national and doing extremely well. Um, I would say that on top of that, by having a partner, that I got part of my life back, right? Like I used to work 78 hours a week, and now I'm home by 5. I owe all of that to Ken and his coaching, and couldn't have done it without him. So I highly recommend Ken's coaching, and would make myself available for any phone calls if anybody needs to talk to somebody for a recommendation. Thank you and have a great week.
Hi, my name is Kim from Scottsdale, and I'm a magazine publisher and marketing consultant. And I've had the privilege of being coached by Ken for over a year, and whether it's in business and in life. And really in business, one of the biggest breakthroughs I got was in income, where I got to double it from beginning to end. And it really is because of Ken's coaching style that made all the difference. He just let me do a lot of the talking, and he listened for what I wasn't saying, and just asked me questions that had me look for what's missing in my performance so I can get the results I wanted. And I've had a lot of coaches over the years, and they made a huge difference, but I've never gotten these kinds of results in my life. And if you're looking to get developed and be empowered to take action and get the results you want, Ken is the guy you want as your coach.
Hi, my name is Beth. I am an admissions advisor. I'm also an entrepreneur, and I highly recommend Ken. He's amazing. Ken gave me a lot of questions that actually created breakthroughs in my life, specifically areas around my emotions. There was a time where my emotions captured me and kept me stuck, and he could just ask one question and it would open up a new space for me and give me freedom around that and be able to move on to the next level of whatever it was that I was actually dealing with or moving towards. The unique style of coaching that Ken does is Ken doesn't have to speak a lot to actually make a difference. He has a unique listening of you, of me, and because of that, he can ask a question that opens up a whole new world. And it's amazing. It's miraculous.
So what does that offer for you?
So what that offers for me is I can depend on Ken that if I ever call and ask for coaching, that literally it'll take like 2 to 3 minutes and I have a whole new world. So thanks.
So here's what I like about Ken Spohn's coaching style. Ken is very direct, very straight with people, but any coach can do that. Ken has a unique skill and talent for just disappearing whatever it is that you're hung up on, concerned about, or allowing to restrict you from performing in an area that is of importance to you. A good example of that is when I wanted to relaunch my company. At that time, I still owned and operated an LLC by the name of Acumen Method. And Ken got in touch with me at my request for coaching. And literally within less than 5 minutes, everything that I was concerned about and that was restricting me from taking action, going after a client, had disappeared. And that was the one client that I brought into the company, and I guess you could say it fed the family for a couple of years. So thanks a lot, Ken. Love what you do, and I'm sure that it won't be the last time that I reach out to you for coaching.
Silvestro, and I am a part-time hairdresser and a stay-at-home mom to a brand new 3-month-old named Zayden.
Okay.
He is awesome. And Ken's coaching, what it has given me. So a breakthrough that I got in my life is letting go of how things are supposed to be. Like I have it that things are supposed to be a certain way, and it stops me from doing things. And what it's given me is the ability to be flexible and easygoing with what comes up and how life is. Like, for example, a dog walking in the room in the middle of the night. So what it's made available for me is, especially with being a mom, you know, I'm really able to be present in the moment with Zayden. You know, my mom and my dad and different people are asking me, aren't you excited for when he's able to do this or able to do that? And I just keep thinking about right now. Like, I don't care about that. We're going to get there when we get there, but just being with him and looking into his eyes and just enjoying the moment is amazing. And it's, you know, but thanks to, you know, how it's supposed to be. I don't know how it's supposed to be. It's just okay. So Ken's style of coaching is quick. It's like within the fraction of a second, fraction of a minute, I have new actions to take, and I see things that were stopping me that I didn't realize were stopping me. And it's always my choice on how I'm setting new actions to take, and it's very precise and consistent. Like, he never leaves me, like, if there's a deadline that I'm setting for myself, it's like to the time, you know, like the day, the time, everything, when it's going to be done. So that's it.
All right. Hi, I'm Kevin Lamb, and I'm with Academy Mortgage here in Arizona. And Ken Spohn was my coach for a couple of different programs. But one of the things that's so unique about his coaching style is that he had the experience of having somebody like me who's a pretty strong personality. And when I say that something's a certain way, I don't like to be contradicted. He contradicted me plenty. And at the same time, he actually had me see something that I had never seen before. He's very, very in tune for listening for the unsaid. And in fact, with a person I was having a particularly hard time with, Ken actually had me start empowering that person. And I ended up being very successful in the program I was in by actually empowering somebody I didn't like. The difference it's made for me now is that I still hear his voice when things like that come up. I can still hear him saying to me, you know, okay, well, and where are you being responsible in this situation? It changed my life. And plus, you know what, he and I don't even see each other that much anymore, but I consider him a very good friend.
Hey y'all, my name is Stacy Shepard, and I live in Queen Creek, Arizona, which is just outside Phoenix. And I'm shooting this video to tell you about a good friend of mine. His name is Ken Spohn. And Ken Spohn he and I met in a program called the Introduction Leader Program, and Ken Spohn was my coach in that Introduction Leader Program. And actually, I became a coach, and then Ken was a coach of coaches. So he was technically the head coach. And in that program, we spent about 6.5, 7 months together, and that looked like a weekly call with Ken that would have 30 minutes to about an hour. And what I really want to say about Ken, the reason I'm shooting this video is because Ken made so many differences for me in my life and the things that were actually important to me. And it was his coaching style that really, really stands out. And what really stands out about Ken is that no matter what I was dealing with or no matter what my circumstances were, he just stood in a place that my circumstances weren't near as drastic or serious or emotional as I thought that they were. He didn't make me wrong for feeling the way that I felt. He understood it. I felt understood by him, but he stood in the place that he's like, once I understood that didn't have anything to do with the results that I wanted to create, that's what allowed me to actually really create results in my life. And I really did. I really moved some things around in my life because of Ken's coaching, some things that were important to me. I had a landscaping company, and I was selling my landscaping company, and he was coaching me in how to further that. And I wanted to be a professional rodeo, and I am now in professional rodeo. I was not in that space at the time, and Ken just moved me through some really difficult spaces that had I not had coaching, I would not have known how to move into those spaces. So he's so great at the coaching in those areas. And it didn't always come easy. You know, Ken and I always didn't agree on every single thing. It wasn't always a perfect relationship, but at the end of it, we actually really created a great friendship. And I didn't even know that was possible until after the coaching was completely over. but we have developed a friendship, and literally the coaching made such a difference for me. And I know that anybody who wants to create radical results in their life, having a coach makes that difference, because you can't coach yourself. And Coach Ken, man, he's I call him Coach now, I don't even call him Ken, but he's a very, very awesome guy, and I don't want to just rattle off just how awesome he is. What's great about him is his distinctions, what he knows about coaching, how he relates to people, and how he moves people through spaces and actually gets them to create the results that they want, the things that are important to them. So whatever's important to you, I can promise you that Ken will coach you through that. He will coach you in what's important to you, make the difference for you. And he's not going to coach you in something that he thinks is important for you or that other people think are important for you. He's going to coach you in what you think is important to you, and he's going to move you through those spaces. And however he does it, not every coaching situation is the same. Not every participant wants to create the same results. So Ken is so amazing at standing in those spaces and moving each individual person differently into the areas of life that are the most important to them. So that's what I got to say about him. Ken Spohn is a super human being. I'm very, very thankful to have him as a friend, and I'm very, very, very thankful to have spent the 7 months with him that I did in the coaching. So I hope that really helps. Thanks, man.
Hi, everyone. My name is Drew, and I'm both an architect and an entrepreneur living in Scottsdale, Arizona. And I had the distinct privilege of being coached by Ken through a 7-month program. Now, Ken's coaching it's phenomenal. It's really extraordinary. And the reason I say that is because I recall so many occasions where I would call him up for our coaching call. I would be stuck in my head about something. There would be some issue, some challenge, something I was faced with that I could not find any access to. I couldn't see my way through. And, I had been analyzing it and talking it over in my head all day long sometimes. And it was always almost funny because in a matter of a minute or two, Ken was able to get me out of my head, get me completely unstuck from whatever it was that was bothering me or whatever it was that was severely challenging me, and would give me a completely new access, a whole new possibility. And it was every time, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it was every single time. And that access gave me a new relationship with my daughter, with her mother. In fact, my daughter's going to be coming out here in 2 weeks, and I'm just really present to what has been made possible through Ken's coaching. It's just been an extraordinary adventure and a wonderful experience to be able to work with him.
Hello everyone, this is Aaron Freeman, and I am on the go once again at the airport for my 3rd trip in 3 weeks. And I can really attribute to all my traveling to Ken Spohn's coaching. What I do is I help people smash the barriers in their life to living full out, and this is in the areas of physical and financial and spiritual. And looking back to Ken's coaching, what that allowed me to do and what is special about his coaching is that he gets right to the point. Have you ever had the experience of someone listening to you but they're not really getting what you're saying? Well, Ken can hear through to what you're committed to and what you're saying behind the words that you're actually saying. And what makes this unique and why you'd want to get coaching by Ken is that this allows the coaching to go so much faster. And when Ken listens to what's important to you, not just what you are saying, the coaching is able to be so spot on and so fast, you can get into action, and that's when you can really make a difference and have the results that you're looking for in the areas that are important to you. So I encourage all of you, have coaching with Ken Spohn. It will advance what you're up to, I guarantee it. Thank you. Bye.